Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash that subscribe button now. And we have just hit 900 subscribers. 900 of us are a part of the Digi family that is Popcorn Reviews. And thank you so much for your love and support, continued love and support and encouragement always. And so the journey to 1000 starts today. The countdown starts today. So please subscribe to the channel. It will help a small creator like me. And the film that we are going to be discussing today is the Gujarati film, which is called Chhello Show or Last Film Show, which is India's official entry to the Academy Awards, the Oscars this year, the 95th Academy Awards. And much has been said about this film. It has been in the news whether, why was it chosen over RRR, all of that. But that discussion aside, I feel if the film is good and strictly from the merit of the film, I'm saying, I'm not considering the Oscars in this review. Strictly from the merit of the film, if it is good, please do support the film. Okay, if it's going to win or not going to win is a separate discussion altogether. And I just feel that if it's a good film, let's support it. There's no harm in not supporting it and criticizing it. What's done is done, basically. So before I start my review, I want you guys to comment about your first theatrical experience, and that will be an interesting, so to say, very personal thing that you would be sharing with the Digi family and with me. And I would love to read all of your first theater experiences. Which film was it? How was it for you? How old were you? Any detail that you would want to add to it. It'll be a lovely discussion in the comment section. So please comment on that. Secondly, I will share with you my experience before getting to the review. So if you want the review, you can just skip the initial part of this video. This video may be a little long. So if you want the proper review, just skip to the part of the review. I'll just share my experience, and after that we'll get to the review. So here, my first theatrical experience was when I was 3 years old, and there was this animated film called Thumbelina that my mother had taken me to watch. And I think she was nudged by my grandma. She's not with me right now, but not with us, but she was probably the one who may have nudged her in saying, you can take him to the theater, because of my love for stories. I really was fascinated by stories. I still am, which is why I am a cinema buff. And that is probably the best decision that someone had taken for me. Ever so, lucky, and the way cinema has shaped me and my outlook towards life, I think I'll ever be thankful to my grandma, mom, and my mother for this. And so there were questions that I was told by my mother that you had asked certain questions like that. And I was being prepared as to how it's going to be on celluloid. When the first time you're taking to a theater, you're taking a child, you have to prepare your child as well, I feel. And so the question that I had asked was that they were told me that the lights are going to be off. So my retort was that then how would you see things if the lights are off? So that was the innocence that I had then. And then one more prep was there. It's going to be a very big TV that is there. The screen was, to a child it was explained as TV, and that is something that I'll never forget. And that theater experience was something, it was almost escapism. Then week after week, then days after days, months after months, and I'm still here. And this is my journey with cinema, which has really been intimate, and it's really been personal, but it's really been fruitful as well. And so it was days back, that I had watched the film Cinema Paradiso, the Italian film, the Oscar-winning film of 1988, Cinema Paradiso. And that character was so relatable, that the fascination, the magic that unfolds on screen that was there, that was something that was really fascinating. And similar experience I wanted to experience with this film as well, which promised a lot. Chhello Show, or the Last Film Show, and that I feel, does it deliver? Let's find out. So here the review starts from this point. Chhello Show, or the Last Film Show, is basically a story of a young boy, in his early ages, the formative years, residing in a small remote village of Gujarat, and his first brush with cinema, and his uh, liking for cinema then develops. That is the basic story of it. Now you may argue that, oh, Farhad, this is the story of Cinema Paradiso as well. Yeah, I would say that some parts of the film will make you reminisce of Cinema Paradiso. Definitely, I'm not denying that. But the story here is different. The treatment is different. It's quite different in that case. It's not Cinema Paradiso, the adaptation of it or anything. It's not nothing like that. There may be certain sequences that might remind you of that, but it's nothing like that. The screenplay, standing at about 1 hour and 50 minutes, makes for a very crisp watch, even though the film unfolds at a very leisurely pace. And so, the first thing that I noticed about the drama was the setting, the world building that was there. You get acquainted with the young boy that is there. He's the protagonist, and his family members, which comprises of his father, his mother, and his younger sister. And through their conversations about cinema, you feel that it is relatable and very grounded. The kind of questions that he asks, the why are you taking us now if you're saying, that cinema is bad for you, and that is the first time that the family is going with the children, of course, for a movie. And the theater is, in the nearby village, and that is the entire setup. The humble beginnings that are there, the fascination of the first brush with cinema, that I think is such a beautiful experience for anyone, and if it stays with you and if it clicks, it's going to stay for a lifetime, I feel. And that is something that I felt as well, and so did this character. And this character, the story did feel quite personal to me, although the journeys were quite different for both of us, but this was quite personal, so to say, a setting that was there, at least. There are a couple of subplots as well. One that is involving the parents. Firstly, the mother, who is quiet and supportive, and the father, who is a little on the stricter side. And you get to know in the film why he's on the stricter side, because he's seen life in a certain way. And in a beautiful scene, which doesn't waste any time, there are two bystanders that are talking about him in a one liner, and that gives you an entire picture about why things are the way they are with him and why he's on the stricter side and discouraging his son to, venture into films, or even to even watch films for that matter. And here, on the other hand, the son, the character, the young protagonist, his love for cinema increases with every, frame in the film. And whether it be bunking school, or just to sneak in and watch the shows, I think we all have done that at some point, and that is something that will be very relatable. But the film, I would say, is especially the crux of the film is actually the deconstruction of the projector kind of cinema. Now, I had also been privy to the projector kind of cinema, which were in its last leg in the early 90s, you can say. That was the last leg of projector cinema before the satellite came in, and now it's completely digital everywhere, at least in metros. So here, the complete assembling of a projector was shown beautifully. The kids here, they tried to build a prototype based on, the thing that he's learning every day and seeing every day on the projector. I think that was something that was beautiful to witness, and it was a lovely setup that was there. Each they were very enterprising, by the way, the kids, and they were trying out new things, to make things work in a proper working projector. And it just shows that the era that has bygone, it was such a skill, you can say, to edit each film that was there, and to maintain the shutter speed, or to have the correct kind of reflectors that are there. I think that is something that was really beautifully shown here, and it did give you an idea also about the how the filmmaking as a process is. And this is, I think, the formative years of the child, where he makes his first film in the truest sense. He assembles the projector. But the last 20 minutes that are there, that is something that is completely just shattering, and it is heartbreaking. I will not reveal what it is, but for the sake of not revealing any spoilers, but it is indeed, you would get a sense of melancholy to it. It is something that, it will break your heart, but the and it will also, by the way, give the importance of education, in any field. And I would put it on record as well, that you might pursue any field that you want, but education, you need to complete your education, is really important, for not only, it may not be required in your everyday life, but it is important for your horizon, to increase your horizon and your mind and your perspective. That is something why the education is important. Something that is flawed in our education system. They teach children to rote, but it's not about roting, it's not about learning by heart, it's about understanding things and learning new things every day. That is something that is exciting. So education is important, but the final scene here, it will make you reminisce about, probably the pre-ending of Cinema Paradiso, or the ending of, say, the Italian film The Hand of God. If you watched it, that is something it will remind you of. In between, I think the relationship between the child and the projector, the one who operated the projector here, was shown. It could have been a little better developed, I feel. I think that was a little raw, in my opinion, my humble opinion. But having said that, the ending, I think, was, it would absolutely give you goosebumps, when there's a tribute, there's a Bangle tribute to, and I say Bangle tribute because it has a reference in the film. The Bangle tribute is given to all the filmmakers and all important people, few important people who, have made noteworthy contributions in cinema. And that, I think, was a very rousing scene that is there, and it was a beautiful scene. The screenplay was excellent in that ending that was there. So overall, I really feel the screenplay was quite brilliant and leisurely paced, but quite brilliant nevertheless. Coming to the technical aspects, I think the dialogues are sparingly used, and they are quite subtle, and the filmmaker uses the technique of showing and not, telling stuff. So there are lines where you see things through the gaze of the protagonist, but not really, it doesn't tell things too much. It's not conversational, it's showing things, about observing things basically. And that is, I think, a good approach to this kind of a film within a film, so to say, that is there. I think the BGM also is quite subtle and goes perfectly with the mood of the drama. The cinematography is beautiful and captures some of the most breathtaking film frames in the on celluloid, and that village, I think, was beautiful. The Chalala village that was there, uh, beautifully shot, and the editing was crisp as well. Director Pan Nalin, who had earlier directed the Hindi film Angry Indian Goddesses, which I had really loved, is in top form here, and he does a spectacular job. But this again seems to be a tale which is very personal to him, and that is something that, he just wanted to, hold your hand and take a trip with him through his childhood, and that is something that was really beautifully portrayed on celluloid. And for people who are saying it's cinema parody, so you will get glimpses of it, and there's nothing wrong in that as well, because many of our stories might coincide as well, personal stories might coincide as well, but our journeys are different, and that is something here. The journey was different, the treatment was different, the story was entirely different, apart from the basic premise that seemed to be similar. Coming to the performances, I think this film was the last performance of one of the kids, called Rahul Kodi, and he passed away due to leukemia days before the film released today. So days before its release, he expired, and he's done quite a good job here. And his contribution to Indian cinema, however small or big, will not should not be quantified, but it's a beautiful contribution to cinema. So thank you so much, Rahul. And if wherever you're watching this from, if you are, go well, rest in peace. And some of the other actors also have done a good job, like Bhavesh, who plays the projector guy. He does a good job here in a slightly underwritten role, I felt, but he did a good job. Dipen, who plays the father, he has a beautiful character arc, at the end. Uh, and that is something that was really heartening to watch. And he did a pretty good job. It was quite a layered character. Even Richa Meena, who plays the mother, she did a spectacular job here. She had her eyes were so expressive. She didn't need words. She was quiet most of the time with a few lines here and there, but then she expressed beautifully through her eyes, and she did a spectacular job there. Also, I think the show did belong to Bhavin, who plays the young protagonist, and he did a spectacular job. He was natural to the core, and I think I'm not sure whether he's a trained actor or not, but sometimes untrained actors they give a very natural performance, something that even trained actors can't, and that is something that Bhavin does here. I'm not sure whether he's trained or not, but he did a spectacular job. So overall, I feel that Chhello Divas, or the last film show, is a beautiful watch. It's a nostalgic drama that really felt very personal to me, and I would recommend this film if it's playing in areas around you. Do watch it and support this film like you have for other films as well. Do not think about whether it's RRR or not. That, I think we are past that discussion. If it all starts with us, the word of mouth should start, so that the audience from abroad also kind of take note. Oh, this film is doing well and it is nominated as well, so why don't we go and watch it? That's the chain that needs to start. And let's not bring RRR into this discussion, but focus on this film as well. I will if I can, I'll try to make a video on comparison of what was right, what was wrong. That's another video altogether, but here do focus only on the film Chhello show, or last film show. Also, as I said earlier in the video, and if you've lasted here, please comment on what did you think about the film. Also share your first theatrical experience. I think that will be a really interesting discussion. I really want to know about your first films that you watched, and your theatrical experience that was there. I started much earlier, but I would think many of you may have started slightly later as well, which is fine. And this community deserves to grow, so please like the video. It helps the YouTube algorithm, and it helps to reach many people as well. If you like the videos, it takes nothing, just like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are on a journey to 1000, and 1000 in ultimate quick time. Thank you so much. We are at 900 right now, 100 more needed. Subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell icon. You'll get to know when I'm online as well, and that will be very crucial to you if you'd like to read my full review of Chhello show or last film show, a film that is also in my mother tongue. It's Gujarati, and the review of which is on my site, Popcorn Reviews, with a double S at the end. The link of which is in the description box below. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. All links are in the description box below. I will see you pretty soon with another review. Till then, keep commenting and let me know if there are any other suggestions as well. So then, thank you so much. See you soon.